Is it time to start considering the Texans as one of the top teams in the AFC?
Not top team, but they're a wild card team. They're a playoff team.
Sure.
I guess by default, maybe that makes them one of the top teams, I guess. Sure. Look, they're a great story. He's a great quarterback. He outplayed Joe Burrow yesterday. He also gave the Bengals a chance to get back in the game with a really bad interception late in the fourth quarter, up by 10 with only like 4 or 5 minutes to go in the game, where they could have milked the clock and ended it. But he also fought back. And here's what I love about DeMeco Ryan and what they do with C.J. Stroud. They're not afraid. There are times I've seen other teams, and it's very clear they're afraid to let their quarterback throw the ball down the field, right? Jets, for example. Even after the bad interception. And then the Bengals obviously don't score the touchdown to win the game because Boyd drops in the end zone, and they kick the field goal to tie it. Texans get the ball back, and we're throwing the ball 20 yards down the field because we trust our young quarterback. Even if it doesn't work, that plays well long term for the growth of a quarterback.
And what's crazy about yesterday's game, especially like when you talk about this, is like George Fant is the right tackle for the Texans. He balled. And what happens is when you have a young quarterback, man, and you have a veteran offensive line, I talked about this at times. When I had Geno Smith as a rookie, man, I know me, Nick Mango, Brigshaw Ferguson, our whole goal was get the kid comfortable. Make sure he's comfortable early, because that's when his talent and his mind can relax and he make the plays we need him to make.
Sure.
When you watch C.J. Stroud, man, he's just poised. He knows where to go with the football. His feet are calm. His mechanics are on time, and he's delivering the football time after time down the field. That shows me a kid that has confidence in the offense, and they have confidence in him to make those type of plays. You don't see that, especially with a rookie quarterback.
Yeah, he overcame a bad play. A lot of times you have a play like that, you kind of go into a shell. Now you're a little gun shy before you throw the ball into traffic down the field. And they came right out in that last drive, Greg, throwing the rock. And here's what I like about it. Some teams try to hold on for a win, right? Mm-hmm. Some teams go take it. And the Texans, after the Bengals came back and tied it, said, we're going to come take it. And they did.
So all season long, they've kind of been in these type of games where they have the ball, they have a chance to go down and put the ball in the end zone and or take the lead, and he puts them in position to do it.
Yeah.
They haven't won all those games, but they've been there before. What we saw yesterday is just a player that is comfortable being in every situation possible. And a lot of that has to be credited to their general manager as well as DeMeco Ryans, because they've developed a comfort with getting Tank Dell in there with them. Noah Brown, a veteran guy, but not a proven guy where
Schultz.
It's like, oh, we know this name, Schultz. They have guys that he can grow and mature with that are going to make him better, that he's going to make better as well. But this is a kid that just believes in his ability.
Yeah.
He just flat out can play.
And you know what's crazy? You watch them beat Cincinnati and get into a wild card spot right now. Going into, week 11 we're going into now?
Yes, sir.
Next week, next Sunday. They lost to the Panthers
2 weeks ago. Recently.
How the hell did that happen?
You don't think the Eagles will say that about the Jets?
Yeah, they are.
They
definitely are.
He was like, we lost to the Jets.
I just want to put his performance in perspective, because when you look at sort of like the big star rookies that we've had come through the league recently, you compare their numbers through 9 games to C.J. Stroud. I think that Justin Herbert would be one that jumps out as someone who's close in terms of touchdown interception ratio and passing yards.
Yeah.
But this is really good. C.J. Stroud is putting up real numbers when you talk about the best rookies we have and young star quarterbacks that we have.
Okay.
Yes. You're welcome.
Well, no, I mean, it's good because
he's the MVP, he's the rookie of the year for sure. If they make the playoffs, he's going to get a couple MVP votes as well. Although he's not the MVP of the league, he'll get some votes. He's clearly the offensive rookie of the year. And to the victors of spoils, they got lucky. Remember that. Carolina had the first pick.
Yeah.
Carolina said, we're going to have a guy that knows nothing about football decide who we should pick. That's the owner, of course. And David Tepper fell in love with Bryce Young. Houston just sat back and goes,
we'll take him.
Okay. We'll take C.J. Stroud. And he's apparently a great kid and obviously a great football player.
Next headline coming into the weekend, a lot of us considered the Baltimore Ravens to be the best team in football. Well, do we still feel like the Ravens are the best team in the AFC?
I'm going to say yeah. I still think they are. It's a bad loss, especially because you blow a double-digit point lead in in the fourth quarter, which was their bugaboo early last year as well. I always think it's find it funny when everyone's high-fiving and celebrating with the kicker. Dude missed an extra point.
Yeah.
Which could have
He
cost
had
them
a
the
great
game.
quote. He said, "I felt like an arsonist that got to put out his own fire."
Oh, did he?
to get back. Yeah. He's like, "I feel like an arsonist that put out the fire got to pat the back."
That story needs to be told. He missed an extra point, 31-30. Oh, no. But he makes the field goal. I still think the Ravens are the best team, but, they have to, like a lot of teams, like the Steelers, to be fair, they got to realize they got to figure out how to win. Like, the Browns had no business coming back in that game.
This is the Ravens win.
They're down 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Deshaun Watson did not have a good first half, and then all of a sudden, it was like, even on one leg, because his ankle was bunk, it was like, oh my God, that looks like Deshaun Watson.
Right.
Zip.
Running.
You're a lineman. I ain't throwing you to rock. It's okay.
Okay.
So I still think Baltimore is the best team, but I give the Browns a lot of credit. They fought back. They didn't give up. I thought there was a chance Deshaun was coming out of the game, to be honest, in the second half, and that dude manned up, fought through it, and played a great second half.
Yeah, for me, when I look at the Baltimore Ravens, I still think they are one of the best teams. The best team, I don't know.
I don't think there is a best team right now.
That's the point.
I think that's what we learned yesterday.
But for me, they are still a scary team because offensively, what Lamar Jackson can provide. Defensively, they just turned it off in the second half.
Yeah.
It was like the Browns found themselves defensively and the Baltimore Ravens didn't. They had the bag pick 6, which really hurt them offensively, kind of stifled what they were doing. And so for me, in the NFC North or AFC North, you've said this all season long, it's going to be a bloodbath. No one fears anyone in that division, and anything can happen on any given Sunday.
Yeah, and I just want to say, I know we're not going to show it, but the Browns also overcame one of the dumbest coaching decisions of the entire week.
I really don't like this.
Well, look, Stefanski, they get within 9 on a touchdown. You kick the extra point, you get to 8. That way, if you do score a touchdown late, you have the 2-point conversion, gives you a chance to tie the game. They went for 2. If you don't convert the 2-point play there, you're down 9. It's a 2-score game. And I'm yelling at the TV going, you've got to be kidding me that they're going for 2 right here. And then they converted it.
And you're like,
okay. Only down 7. But in the moment, I'm like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I would fire Stefanski as soon as he comes off the field. And then it turned out that they converted it.
They're down 7. They're going to pick 6, and they miss the extra point. Exactly. And they got to win the game again.
It was a wacky.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was a crazy.
This was a Ravens win. I'm watching this game like this is a Ravens win, and that Lamar pick, it kind of felt like even he was surprised when that happened.
Well, look, it's they've been rolling, right? 4 straight wins, scoring 30 points a game, and I think they were a little surprised themselves that they didn't put Cleveland out of its misery. But that's what happens when you let a team that battles you in that division stay alive. All of a sudden you find yourself on the wrong end of the score.
Well, you make a good point. One of the reasons they struggle in the fourth quarter is usually Lamar Jackson's on the sideline. They blow out everybody, right? So here's their first dogfight they find themselves in, and he had to make plays, and he wasn't as good as he normally is. So they struggle, and they end up losing the game.
All right, we got lots more show coming your way. San Fran did exactly what we told you they would do, embarrass the frauds that are the Jacksonville Jaguars. But does one win against an average team with a bad quarterback actually mean that San Francisco's back? We'll discuss right after this. Hey there, thank you so much for watching The Carton Show. You can subscribe right here to get all the latest bits and segments from the show. And by the way, while you're at it, we have a lot of great shows on FS1, so check them out too.